Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're good from wherever you are watching us. Welcome to the program. My name is Evan Soking and this is the Candy Talk. I'm joined by Professor Herman Manyora. As usual, we are here with him. Prof, how are you?
Good. Yes.
You're still in Kenya, still moving, still looking at and assessing the situation and how things are being run in this country.
Yes. And just trying to remind Kenyans, this is a good country, too good to go down. Yes.
They say you picketed, demonstrated, did all that.
Yeah.
Has it brought down the cost of living?
But was it meant to? The people who are picketing and have no power to bring it down. It is the other side should listen and do something. Yeah.
Now, who is this? The MP for Suna is Junet Mohammed actually said that if you want these demonstrations to end right now, just do this, wake up and just make that announcement that the price of unga will come down to 70. You agree to open the servers, and then you will also be able to make sure that the recruitment process of the IBC is inclusive. Of course, they're calling for reinstatement of the embattled, of course, now former commissioners, the Sherara for as well. Do you think it's justified to talk of some of these things?
These are small matters. You know, sometimes I wonder, is it that Kenyans, especially our leaders, never went to school? Or they went to school and they just stayed there and crammed and got papers and laughter? What is it? What is the problem? Don't they have a sense of history? Don't they understand what is going on in the world? Don't they know that there have been very difficult negotiations between the Palestinians and the Israeli people? Very difficult intrastate negotiations in Israel between different parties of Israel, in Bangladesh, across the world. People have had very serious negotiations between nations, between countries, within countries, between parties, within parties. Serious issues to address on the table.
Okay.
Now, these ones of ours, these are things that we can actually just give children in Nairobi Primary School to do for us. So Raila, 5 of us from class 7, Nairobi Primary School. Ruto, 5 of us from Moi Road Primary School. We meet at Ufungamano. We discuss your issues and give you the answer. Things which can be sorted out by primary school children. These mature people cannot sort out. What is IBC?
Okay.
Is it a matter of life and death? Is it not something we can sit down and sort out? This cost of living. Don't we know why things are up? Even by just removing theft and corruption in Kenya Power, electricity will go down. Come on.
No, definitely. It's something that actually happened strange in the country, and of course that culminated into this March 20th demonstration that we witnessed the other day. And of course, right now, I understand the fact that Raila Odinga is saying that there would be demonstrations every Monday and Thursday. I wonder the kind of effect that will have on the economy. Of course, it will be very gross. Right now, people are counting a number of losses. But then, the MPs that are actually aligned to the government side, there is the Kenya Kwanza side, definitely are heaping blames on the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. The other time I had Jane Kihara, the MP for Naivasha, actually telling the former president to come out and make his stand very clear on these demonstrations that are taking place in the country. And of course, they are saying, led by the likes of Kimani Ichung'wah, that it's the former president who is funding all these demonstrations that are taking place in the country. Are they justified in doing that?
Uhuru may be a bad man or a good man. I don't really have the capacity to know. He could even be evil, because I don't know. He could be an angel. I don't know. So let me restrict myself to what I do know. I do know that as president, Uhuru has such enormous powers that if he wanted to make it difficult for Ruto to be president, Ruto would not be president. That one I know. I don't know those other things. Today, he's not the president. I do know that if it is true, Uhuru wants to give this government a hard time, he will give them a hard time. I know. I have not witnessed any. So I would advise Kenya Kwanza people, especially these young politicians, to leave Uhuru Kenyatta alone. Let him enjoy his. We want to encourage African presidents to retire peacefully. And when they have retired, let them go home. Let us not follow them. Moi never followed the Kenyatta family. Not that there is nothing he could have followed them about. Kibaki never followed Moi. Not that there was nothing Kibaki couldn't have done or found with Moi, but he left him alone. Uhuru left Kibaki alone. I'm asking the Kenya Kwanza government to leave Uhuru Kenyatta alone. Unless you have something tangible, don't play politics with the name of Uhuru Kenyatta. You may think it is serving your interest. It is covering up for your inefficiencies, your failure to deliver. So you bring Uhuru every time. Every time you fail to do something, every time you want to do something wrong, you want to sell our parastatal for a song, parastatals. You want to use 800 million for cars for 3 people, Mudavadi, Ruto and Gachagua, if that is true, because I've seen it in serious media. So you think by bringing in Uhuru, we will forget. No, it will not help you. The thing you are doing is what the world and Africa in particular want to run away from. Antagonizing former heads of state. It is counterproductive.
A night after the demonstrations took place on 20th of March, the MPs were lied to. The other side actually came out. Of course, all the sides came out to give the press statement. And I had the members of parliament affiliated to the government actually call on the arrest and the subsequent prosecution of the former president and Raila Amolo Odinga, saying very well that these are they should be blamed for everything that took place on that particular day, and therefore they should be arrested. So my question therefore would be, do you think that the government of the day has got the guts to arrest the Right Honorable Raila Odinga and arrest Uhuru Kenyatta and prosecute them as the members of parliament?
This young politician, this is a juvenile boy, these girls and boys, I've told them, please, chew what you can swallow. Leave Raila and Uhuru out of your business. They are not in your class. I've even advised our deputy president, my friend Gachagua. He's not Uhuru's match. There was a lawyer, counsel for Uhuru Kenyatta at The Hague. I remember he was called Kega. In trying to show that Uhuru was not the criminal that the court was being told he was, he said something which I want these young boys and girls and then my very good friend also to listen to. This is a man whose father's portrait or bust has been on our currency for almost all these years. Even today, I want these guys to look at their currencies well, and they will see Kenyatta's image there. Please, Uhuru is not your average boy. No, it's not your average boy you can play around with. At the end of the day, you'll be the one to suffer.
Are they stretching their muscles too far?
They don't even have muscles.
Come on.
These are neophyte. They are yet to grow muscles. They are young boys and girls. We love them. They are our children. But they should leave Uhuru out of this thing. They should leave Raila out of this thing. Nobody in their right senses can touch Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta.
Are they above the law?
Not above the law. You know, every country has its own realities. Every country in the face of the world. They have their own. There are countries that just arrest their prime ministers and throw them in the cell and jail them.
But if anything was to go by
and they serve the jail and finish, some of them even come back.
If anything,
there are countries that have taken former presidents or even serving presidents. Shika and Peleka Koti. This may not be one of those countries.
If anything is to go by, what we witnessed on 20th of March was pure anarchy, destruction of property, and all those things that came with demonstrations. If at all this is not utterly perhaps disregard to the law and perhaps regarded as maybe criminal conduct by certain people, don't you think that it would be upon the government to make these arrests and
even again when you arrest somebody, you must consider two things. If you are arresting Raila Odinga or Uhuru Kenyatta, you must consider two things. One, do you really have a case against them? What would be the case against Raila or Uhuru Kenyatta? Uhuru Kenyatta has nothing to do with these things. What evidence do you, even just remotely? Maybe the intelligence have evidence which we don't have.
They say
they have access to instruments which we don't have.
They say he's sponsoring the demo.
No, maybe they know. Right? Maybe they know. Let's assume they know. But I doubt that they will have a case against Uhuru Kenyatta. I doubt that they will have a case against Raila Odinga. Because Raila Odinga is operating within the confines of the law in terms of the right to assemble. So that's the first thing. You don't have a case. Secondly, public response to the arrest of Uhuru Kenyatta and to the arrest of Raila Odinga may not be something you want to imagine. It may spell doom to the country. Because I can understand these boys think Raila is like them. But Raila is an institution.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, you go and declare public holiday and let's see if it works.
Who, me?
Or anybody else. Those boys. Those boys and girls. You can't. You see, this country, there are three people. If you touch, you set the country on fire. If you touch William Samoei Ruto, even before he became president, you just want to set the country on fire. Why didn't Uhuru do anything to him when they didn't agree? Why didn't he arrest him? He could not have missed charges against his deputy. He could have found charges and thrown him in jail. 10 years. But you'll ban the country. You can't touch Uhuru Kenyatta even now when he's at home. You touch him and you ban the country. You can't touch Raila Odinga unless you... That is why, and that's how come. So these young people, let me teach them a little of history, which is just 2 years ago. That's why even Kenyatta could not jail Jaramogi. He only put him under house arrest and prescribed or banned his KPU party. Because if Kenyatta dared to touch Jaramogi beyond a certain point, the country wouldn't be what we know it today. Much more recently, in 2012, nobody could have believed Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, with the cases on their heads and shoulders, and with the neck, chains on their neck, with the ICC indictment, facing such a criminal charges as forced displacements of persons, rape, circumcision, forced circumcision, all sort of ugly charges. Of course, that was all useless. It wasn't there. But all the ugly charges Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto were facing, sure, nobody believed such a people could be cleared to run for office, leave alone be elected. The world was shocked when they were elected. But let's not go to election. Just being cleared. And for that reason, people went to court and asked the court, for the IBC, will you not use your powers right in the constitution not to clear these two people so that they don't run for office? IBC said, we have not reached there. That we cannot. We don't have the power. People rushed to court. And the court said, we only listen to an election petition. Do you think the courts didn't know what they were doing? If you stopped Uhuru and Ruto from running in 2013, would you have a country? There would be no country. So there's something common sense. So I would understand if these things are coming from small boys and girls. It's just common sense. There's nobody would have stopped Uhuru and Ruto from running in 2013 unless you didn't want to have the country.
Are you therefore trying to say that the likes of Kimani Ichung'wah have lost touch with political reality in the country?
No, they have lost. To say they have lost, I know you don't know English. To say they have lost, and you are the only Luo who doesn't know English. To say they have lost is as if they ever had. No. They are young people, they are still growing up. You know, English is difficult. But when you are juvenile, but they are learning.
Are you trying to say that these people have never had touch with the reality?
No, they are learning.
I'm trying to say
these are our children. They are learning. They are our children. They are now in the process of learning. So except that they are making blunders. They should come to Wazee kama sisi tuambie. Please don't think Uhuru Kenyatta was stupid when he called Raila for a chat over men. They said many cups of tea, remember?
Meaning they've not reached that level of losing that touch with reality yet.
They haven't reached there.
Okay.
But they haven't had touch with the reality. They are in the process of learning and growing up, which is normal. Kimani Ichung'wah is a very good politician. Actually, a smart young man. He's a friend of mine. And I always call him Kamau instead of Kimani, just jokingly. So he's a very good, sharp young man. In the future, these will be very serious politicians. But I want to warn them. You can associate yourself with such a childish behavior that it will not be easy to rub it off. Look at Ababu Namwamba, very astute politician, very person who could go far. But there are certain childish things he did in 2007. That tag has not left him. So my advice to Kimani Ichung'wah, forget about these others who are just neither here nor there. But people like Ndindi Nyoro, Kimani Ichung'wah, they have a future. Because I have sat with them. I have seen them. They have the potential and the capacity to become big people and do great things in this country. But they must also know, if you allow certain childish things to be part of you, people to associate you with certain juvenile antics, like what people like Malala are doing, it will be very difficult for you to rub them off. That's what is haunting Ababu Namwamba up to this time. Ababu Namwamba can come here, you can give him a chance to come and dispute it. He knows. He knows he's suffering because of swearing in the name of Raila instead of Kibaki in parliament.
How is this happening? Yet he's in the cabinet right now.
To be removed by less qualified people, less serious people. To be, he has wanted to be in parliament ever since he can't. He has no name.
So he can't have the platform to articulate issues.
You can destroy your own platform, jokingly. Of course, they say in the Bible, when I was young, I did what, when I was a child, I did what children do. This is normal. Don't go beyond it. Don't go
beyond it.
If you are a politician of Ishungwa's stature and you keep calling for the arrest of Raila Odinga, people begin to think you don't know your reality. You are not in touch with reality. They are not in touch with reality. Not that they have lost, because it was never there. They are not in touch with reality. And people may now begin to think, oh no, if you have been an MP for 3 terms, even if you are young in age, and you still can't see the seriousness, you can't see the danger in telling the country to arrest Raila, then people say, oh no, he will never grow up. He's a good young man, but we cannot think about him as a president.
This one,
look at Ruto. Even when he was young, even when he was in YK, there are many people with him who did all manner of things and said all manner. He never did those things. He remained tough and serious and focused, and never laughing and doing useless things that other boys of his age were doing. He was the only man who was benchmarking him during 2007. Was Mother Karua from the other side. So he has been serious, and people associate you with that seriousness. And look, he's in State House. So I want Kimani Ichung'wah to imagine himself one day in State House, because he has the capacity to be president of this country. And therefore, the sooner they get rid of these juvenile antics, the better.
Don't you think he's aware of what he's doing? Because actually, right now, when you go to Twitter, every single tweet that Kimani Ichung'wah actually does post, I wonder whether he's the one running that account or whether it's being run by somebody else. But it's all about profiling Raila Odinga, calling him Lord of Anarchy, serial liar.
He should not join my friend.
Tags that is
he should not join my friend Kimani, called Moses Kuria. The things Moses Kuria said about Raila, about the Luos, and so on and so forth, and other very things we can't say here. They have not left my friend Moses Kuria. Unknown to many people, Kuria is a very intelligent person. People don't know that, because they associate him with what? With these juvenile antics, childish behavior, saying very bad things about a whole community. Then people, those things stick on you. To get away from that is not easy. And that's why even when he said he wanted to be governor of Kiambu, people couldn't see him, the image of him being a governor.
That is capable.
Yeah, that is the name Moses Kuria. So I'm only warning people like Kimani Ichung'wah with a great potential not to go in that direction. You can oppose, you can criticize, you can punch, you can push against Raila Odinga, but don't degenerate up to a point when people now begin to associate you with childish things, and then they can never see you in a big position in their mind. So what you have becomes terminal. You can't penetrate. A concrete ceiling. You can't. If you hit it, you go back. My advice to young people, because I love young people. Yes.
But of course, that is what we even saw. He is the current leader of majority in the National Assembly, and we've even seen him even during his pronouncements and sentiments at the National Assembly when he's making his contributions. there is no single day that you'll ever fail to mention such kind of stuff. And of course, I saw
and he has a deep sense of humor.
Yeah, and of course, Professor Nyikal didn't take that.
And a deep sense of humor comes from a deep intellect. When you see people with a deep sense of humor like Kimani Ichung'wah, it means upstairs they are very intellectually
and very articulate.
Yeah, and to be articulate. All those is a package of being intelligent. But you can allow, you sometimes you run the danger of allowing it to cross a certain line. Therefore, what would have been an asset to you becomes a liability. And I'm telling Kimani Ichung'wah, because I know people listen to these things. Those who are listening, tell him to stop. To begin portraying an image of a serious leader. Because, truth be told, there is a vacuum in Kikuyu leadership. That is the truth. In terms of who will the Kikuyu front in the future and give the people of Kenya that this is our son or daughter, make him the president of Kenya. That is still not yet decided.
Okay.
Gachagua may be a front runner, but being a front runner is not the same thing as saying, because I know a little English, a little English. Being a front runner doesn't mean you are the only one. So on that list of the possibilities from just the Kenya Kwanza side, we have Ndindi Nyoro, we have Kimani Ichung'wah, and so on and so forth. Wasijitoe kwa list ya watu ambao Wakikuyu wanaweza kupeleka mbele wawe marais wa nchi hii kwa kujihusisha na usemi wa kitoto.
Now answer my question. Do you think the president has the guts to arrest Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta?
Arresting Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga cannot be a question of guts. No. You can't have guts and do that. Yeah. A person with guts cannot do that. An intelligent person cannot do that. I'm not saying they are not intelligent.
Is it impossible?
Nothing is impossible. Napoleon told us the word impossible can be found in the can only be found in the dictionary of fools. Nothing is impossible. You can arrest Raila, but the consequences will be there. Are you prepared? If you cannot handle a simple Maandamano on 20th on Monday, can you deal with the consequences of arresting Raila?
Well,
of course you can arrest him. But do you have what it takes to deal with the consequences?
Do you have what it takes to deal with the consequences? That is the word here from Professor.
Siku moja tusikia Uhuru na Raila wako selo. Raila ako Muthaiga, wanawapelekanga wa hizo maselo kubwa kubwa. Wakubwa wanatudanganya sisi.
But he's been arrested and detained before.
Nikishindwa nitatupwa to the nearest police.
He's been arrested and detained before by Moi. What's the difference right now?
Which year was that? Were you born? Were you born?
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stop this conversation at this particular moment. But please, if you're watching us for the first time, we are requesting that you subscribe to our channel here. And of course, do not fail to tune into some of our programs that will be coming up next year. Of course, all these are productions of Nairobi Review. You can reach us down there and you can support some of these productions that we do have here at Nairobi Review. Till we have this conversation again, have yourself a very lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.